Good morning to everyone. Today we are going to see exercise 6.4, question number 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So here are the questions. What the question number 5 says. Find the list number which must be added to each of the following number so as to get a perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect square so obtained. So what's the number we have to find? We have to find a smallest least, that means a smallest number which must be added to 525 to get a perfect square, isn't it? So for that we have to find a square root. So how to find a square root? We can find the square root by the long division method. So look, here is the solution. As we know that how to find the long division method, so 525 we will going to find by a long division method, isn't it? So here is 525. We have to make the pair from the right hand side. While making the pairs, we know that here the three numbers is there, isn't it? So 5 will having no pair in this, so 5 will remain as it is. Now we have to think of a number such that either exactly 5 will come while multiplying its square, or smaller than 5 come. We can't take greater than 5. Okay, so 1 is 1 itself, it is too small. 3 is 9, it is greater than 5, so we won't take. Then we will consider 2. So 2 into 2, 4 will be subtracted with 5. So what the remainder will left? 1. Now 25 together will come in the next step, isn't it? So what the number with the remainder? So 125 will be the number becomes, isn't it? Now with the question 2, we will going to add it with the divisor, that is 2 plus 2 will become 4. Now we have to think of a number such that the number we will get as either exactly 125 or less than 125, isn't it? So we are getting a number 84. So that number is subtracted with 125, we will get as 41, isn't it? So here, dear student, what is the quotient here? Quotient is 22 and remainder is 41. If some remainder is left, that means the number 525 is not a perfect square, isn't it? While performing the long division method, if any remainder is left, that means that particular number dividend is not a perfect square. In order to make it a perfect square, we have to add some numbers to 525 to make it a perfect square. Now let's see what the number should be added. In the previous video, question number 4, the number remainder is subtracted with the number with the dividend, isn't it? But here in the addition, little bit difference is there. Okay, now see what will be the difference. So here in this addition, what we are going to do, we have to find the square of the quotient. What is the quotient we are having? We are having the quotient as 22 square, which is less than the dividend 525, which is again less than the number 23. We are going to take whatever the quotient we are having, isn't it? Quotient, what the quotient we are having in the question, that is 22. So that quotient, while addition of 1 will be how much? That will be how much? 23, isn't it? So one step, one number will be added with the quotient, so it will become 23. Now we are going to find the square of 22 as well as 23. Okay, so the square of 22 is how much? Square, that means 22 will be multiplied with 22, so it will be 484. In the same way, 23 will be multiplied with 23, so what will be the square of 23? That is 529. And here 525 will remain as it is. Okay, since we know that a remainder is 41, that's why it is not a perfect square, isn't it? In order to make it a perfect square, by which number it should be added? That is the question, isn't it? So look what number should be added here to make it a perfect square. So what the number should be added? What we are having, 23 square minus 525. When 23 square we are having, what's the number? 23 square, that means 520. 9. 23 into 23, that will be become 529. Now 529 will be subtracted with 525. So when it is subtracted, what the number we are getting? We are getting the number 4, isn't it? Now this number 4 will be added to the dividend, that is 525, to make it a perfect square. So square root of 525 will be added with 4 to get the dividend, a new dividend, that is square root of 529. So 529, the square root of 529 is 23. 23 into 23, what we will get? 529. So have you understood, everyone? While doing the second question, it will be more clear. Okay. So fifth question, second part, 1750. As I told you, we have to make the pair from the which side? From the right hand side, isn't it? So 1750, isn't it? Making the pair from the right hand side. So here we had made the pair of 17 and 50. Now we have to think of a number such that we will get exactly either 17 or less than 17. So 3 3 is 9, 2 2 is 4, 4 4 is 16, 5 5 is 25. 25 is a greater number, isn't it? So we are not going to take here 5. So we will going to take as 16, that is 4 4s. So 4 we will going to write in the quotient. So 4 4s is 16. Now 17 will be subtracted with 16. So we will get remainder as 1. Now this 50, both together it will become at down the next step. So this 50 will be come together in the next step, and with the number, with the remainder 1, it will become 150. Now this 4 will be added with the quotient 4. So 4 plus 4 will become how much? 8, isn't it? Now here we have to think of a number so that we will get either exactly 150 or less than 150. Suppose we are taking 0. 0 will be 80 itself. Suppose we are taking 2 there. Then 2 2s is 4 and 2 8 is 16. So 164 is greater than 150. So we are going to take here 1. So 81 will be there. Now subtract it, 150 with 81, it will be become 69. So what is the remainder we are having here? Remainder we are having here 69, doesn't it? So the remainder in this question is 69. Now if the remainder is 69, that means 1750 is not a perfect square. In order to make it a perfect square, what the number should be added with 1750? So that number will be, let's see what will be the number should be added. What is the quotient here? Here 41 is the quotient. Remember what is the quotient here? 41 is the quotient. Now what we are going to do? We are going to find the quotient square. So 41, okay, 41 square is less than 1750 is less than 42 square. Now we are going to find the square of this number. Why we are here taking 42? Because either 1750 will be greater than 41 square or it will be less than 42 square, not more than that. That's why we are taking one step above it. Okay, then so square of 41 will be how much? 1681, and square of 42 will be 1764. So this will be the number. Now since we know that it is not a perfect square, so in order to make it a perfect square, what the number should be added? So what we are going to do? We have to see the number 42 square will be subtracted with the dividend, that is how much? 1750. So when it will be get subtracted, what the number we will get? The number will be 42 square minus 1750, isn't it? So 42 square is 1764 will be subtracted with 1750. So what the number we are getting? We are getting 14. Now this number 14 will be added with the quotient, that is 1750 will be added with 14. So what the number we are getting? We will get the number 1764. So 1764, its square root will be how much? 42 into 42. So this square will, the two pair will be, one of the number will come outside. So what the number we are having? That is 42, isn't it? Now you can also find. Now you will ask me, teacher, if it is a square root of 1764, how directly we will get 42? So dear student, you can see from the above, what is the number we are having square? 1764 we are having here. 42 square is 1764. This number is matched with here, with this number, one square root of 1764. So directly we can write either 42, isn't it? So square root of 1764, directly we can write the square root of this number is as 42. Suppose if you forgot how to do this, you can easily find it by the factorization, that is 1764 divided either by prime factorization method you can find it. Okay, first either prime factorization method or by the long division method you can find. So if we are going to find by the long division method, 4 4s is 16, 1 will be left. Okay, 64 will be directly comes here. So 4 2 2s is how much? 2 2s are 4 and here 16. So that means 42 is the answer. So dear students, square root you can find by both as prime factorization as well as long division method. Okay, so here is the solution of question number 5, third part. So what is here? 252 is there. Again, first step is by long division method. First step is to make the pair. Making the pair from which side? From the right hand side. So 52 will be the one pair and 2 will remain as single. So 2 is a number. Okay, so 2 2 is 4, that is greater than 2, so we won't take 2, we will take 1. So 1 1 is 1, so will be subtracted, we will leave remainder 1. Now 52 together comes downside, so the number become 152. Now you have to think of a number. So 5 is the number. Okay, so we will multiply and we will get the remainder as 27. Now 27 we get, and what is the quotient we are having? With the quotient we are having as 15, isn't it? So 15 square less than 252 less than 16 square. So square of 15 is 252, square of 16 is 256. Since here the remainder is 27, that means the number 252 is not a perfect square. So in order to make it a perfect square, what we have to do? We have to do this step, 16 square minus 252, so that the square of 16 is 256, isn't it? So that number will be added there with 252 to make it a perfect square is 4. So when 252 is added with 4, we will get a new number 256, and that number is a perfect square. So its perfect square will be 16, isn't it? How you get 16? 16 here from 16 square, that is 256. That's why. Clear? So here is the fourth step, fourth question. So again the same pairing and long division method you have to find it, isn't it? So in this way you can find the long division method. Now what will be the remainder here? Remainder is 61. If 61 is the remainder, that means 1825 is not a perfect square, isn't it? So what is the quotient we are having here? The quotient is 42. So 42 square less than 1825 less than 43 square. Okay, so what the number we have to add it? That number is 24, will be added to 1825 to make it a perfect square. So when added, it will become 1849, and 1849 square root of it will be 43. So question number 4, fifth part, and question number 5, fifth part, both is your homework. Clear? Now look, question number 6. What the question number 6 says that find the length of the side of a square whose area is 441 square. Here the area is given, and what is the formula for area of a square? That is side into side, that is side square, or in place of side we can write it a into a, that is a square. Both are same. So here we have to find the length of the side of the square. Area is given as 441, isn't it? So 441 area is given, isn't it? So what we are going to do? We are going to find its square root by the long division method. Everybody know how to find the square root by the long division method. So we are for performing here long division method, making the pair from the right hand side. 41 will be the first pair and 4 will remain single. Okay, then 2 into 2 will be 4, subtracted will be 0. 41 will come in the next step, so we have 2 plus 2 will be 4, isn't it? So you have to think of that number. So that number will be, as 4 is there, that 41 is there in the dividend, so 4 1 will be the number, isn't it? So 41 will be subtracted with 41, the remainder will be 0. So what will be the length? The quotient in this long division method is 21. So side is 21 meter, isn't it? Thus the length of the side of a square is 21 meter. What is given in the question? In the question it is given, in a question it is given a simple 441. Here it is said that area is given 441 and area of a square formula is side into side square, isn't it? Since the area is given 441 and the side is given s square, that means side, isn't it? So this square will be goes as a square root, so it will become square root of 441. Now everybody know how to find the square, making the pair from the right hand side, then performing the division method, isn't it? So 2 into 2 will become 4. So 4 minus 4 will be 0. Now 41 together will come in the next step. So 2 plus 2 will become 4. Now we have to think of a number. That number will be 41 itself. So 41 will be subtracted with 41, we will get as 0. Hence what the quotient we are having here, the quotient is 21. So this quotient 21, as it is given root of 41, isn't it? So here we had finded the root. So the value of root of 441 is 21. That means side value is 21. If side value is 21, that means length of the side of the square will be 21 meter. Clear everyone? Okay. Next, question number 7. What the question number 7 says? Here in the question number 7, here it is talking about a right angle triangle. Okay, it is said that right angle triangle is at B. That means where B is the angle, there 90 degree will be there, isn't it? So the value of AB is given as 6 centimeter, BC is given 8 centimeter. What we have to find? We have to find AC. Okay, what we have to find? The value of AC. Since it is a right angle triangle, everybody know it is a right angle triangle, isn't it? If it is a right angle triangle, that means we can apply a Pythagoras theorem, isn't it? While applying the Pythagoras theorem, what it will be the values? Just look at. So here, what is said in the question? That it is said in the question that ABCD is a right angle triangle. If it is a right angle triangle at B, here is B, isn't it? This one is the A and this one is the C. Clear? So this one is the C. So if it is a right angle at B, here it is 90 degree. Okay. The value of AB, which is a perpendicular, is given at 6 centimeter. The value of BC, which is a base, is given as 8 centimeter. The value of AC you have to find. And what is AC? AC is the hypotenuse. Okay, so what is the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is the longest side of the right angle triangle. Okay, now since it is a right angle triangle at B, isn't it? Right angle triangle at B, that means we can apply a Pythagoras theorem. What is a Pythagoras theorem? Pythagoras theorem is hypotenuse the whole square is equals to perpendicular the whole square plus base the whole square. This is the Pythagoras theorem, isn't it? What is Pythagoras theorem? Hypotenuse the whole square is equals to perpendicular the whole square plus base the whole square, isn't it? Now we are going to write the name of hypotenuse, perpendicular and base. So what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is AC. So here it will be AC square. Perpendicular is AB. So here is AB square. Then base is BC. So base BC square. Now we are going to substitute the value of AC, AB, BC. As we know that the value of AC we have to find it. Then how to find? Just look at. So value of AC we have to find, isn't it? So AB is given in the question as 6, isn't it? Then BC is given in the question 8. So 6 into 6 is how much? 6 into 6 is 36, isn't it? 8 into 8 is how much? That is 64. So a 6 square is 36 and 8 square is 64. Now add both the numbers. We will get how much? 36 plus 64 is how much? 0. Carry 1. So it will become 100, isn't it? Now we add, after addition, 36 plus 64 will be 100. Now this square will be goes to here. So as we know that square is the inverse, square is inverse of the number. So here this square will give to 100. So 100 will become square root of 100, isn't it? Now after this, what we are going to see? We are going to see the square of this number, isn't it? Now how to find the square of this number? Either the square of 100 can be found by the two method. First is by what? By long division method or by prime factorization method. So if we are finding with the prime factorization, we can see that 2, so it become 50, again 2, so it become 25, 5, so here 5. So what is the pair inside the root is? 2 into 2 into 5 into 5, this 2. So among these two pair, 1 2 will come outside, and among these two pair, one pair will come outside. So 2 into 5 will be 10. So this is the value of square root by prime factorization. We can also find it by the long division method. Okay, so 100 will be written making the pair from the right hand side. So we have to think of a number. That number will be 1 itself, isn't it? So 1 will be subtracted. We will get 0 here, isn't it? So here 0 is there. So among the two 0, 1 will be going to take. So here what is the square root of 100 we are getting? This 10. So by prime factorization or by long division method, you can find the value of this. Clear? Now next, seventh question, B part. Again AC value is given. AC, as we know that AC is what? AC is the hypotenuse. Base hypotenuse is given as 13. BC is the base. Base value is given 5 centimeter. We have to find the value of AB, that is perpendicular. Since it is already said that ABC is a right angle triangle at B, then we can apply by Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is hypotenuse square is equals to perpendicular square plus base square, where hypotenuse is AC square, perpendicular is AB square, and base is BC square, isn't it? So we can substitute the value according to the question. So according to the question, AC value is given as 13, AB value, that is perpendicular, we have to find it, and BC is given 25, isn't it? So 13 square, that means 13 into 13 will be 169, 5 into 5 will be 25, isn't it? Now what we are going to do here, as in the above, directly perpendicular and base is given, so we had added. So here we are going to find the perpendicular. So this 25 will be goes to the left hand side. So when it goes with the left hand side, so this plus will become minus, isn't it? So 169 will be subtracted with 25, since it's moves from the right hand side to the left hand side, that's why it will be subtracted. So when it will be subtracted, what the number we will get? We will get 144. Now this square will be comes and change into the square root. So 144 square root is equals to AB. Now how to find the square root? How to find the square root? Either by prime factorization or by long division method you can apply and find. So here I had written the answer of, or the square root of 144 is 12 centimeter. Clear everyone? Next, 8th question. What is the 8th question says? I had already given you the question. Just go through the questions or look at from your book. Okay. Total number of plants with the gardener is 1000 plants is given. Now the gardener wants, if he is having 1000 plants, he wants to plant that plants in the garden in a such a way that number of rows and the number of columns will be equal. So the condition for the gardener to be planted is number of row and the number of columns must be equal. Now how many plants more it will be required to plant to plants such that number of rows and the number of gardens will be number of rows and number of columns will be same. Now in the question particular line is given how many more plants will be needed, isn't it? So we are going to add. Do you remember fifth question? Find the least number which must be added to make it a perfect square. So in the same way we are going to see it. Okay, so 1000 plants are there. So first you are going to find the square root of those plants. So here we had find it the square root by long division method, making the pair from the right hand side. 10 is there, so 3 into 3 is 9, 4 into 4 is 16, 16 is greater than 10, so we are not going to see, take 4. Okay, so 3 into 3 here it will be how much? 9. Now as we know, people know very well how to find the long division method, isn't it? So here what the quotient is 31, dividend is 1000 and the remainder is 39. So since the 1000 is having remainder 39, that means it is not a perfect square. Whenever the remainder is left, that means that number is not a perfect square, isn't it? In order to make it a perfect square, what we have to do, since in the question it is said that how many more plants is needed, so that equal number of rows and equal number of columns will be there. So that gardeners wants to know how many more plant will be needed. For that what he did, he had taken the square, he had taken the long division method of square root of 1000. Since he find out some remainder is left, the remainder is 39, that means it is not a perfect square. Now he wants to know that what should be done. Now what should be done? So 31 is the what? 31 is the question. So what he will do, 31 square less than 1000 square less than 32 square. Now he will do 31 into 31, it will be 961. 32 into 32, it is 1024, isn't it? Now what the number should be added with 1000 to get equal number of row and column? So that particular number what used to do, 1224 will be subtracted with 1000 to get 24 plants. Thus a gardener needs 24 more plants in such a way that number of plants in the row and the columns remains same. So this question is same as question number 5. The same process, no difference is there. This question is given in the form of a step problem, isn't it? Word problem is given. So if you once you understand question number 5, you will easily can do this question also. Okay, next question number 9. So question number 9 is the last question of this exercise as well as the chapter. So total number of children is given 500, and in the assembly the number of rows, a row and the column of the students must be same. A teacher says that if you people are having 500 children, then the number of row and the number of columns in the assembly ground, it should be equal. So for that what the teacher did, 500 if the students are there, she or he finded the long division method. So everybody know how to find the long division method, making the pair from the right hand side. Always remember dear student that you have to make the pair from the right hand side. Okay, so here I had solved the long division method. What is the quotient in this? 22, and what is the remainder is 16. Now since if the remainder is there, that means 500 is not a perfect square. So in order to make a perfect square, what the number should be subtracted? Now you will ask me, teacher, in question number 8 we have done addition and question number 9 we are doing subtraction. So in the question it is given very clearly that question number 8 it is said more number of plants. More number of plants, that means addition will be take place. Okay, but in question number 9 it is said that how the teacher will going to arrange, how the teacher is going to arrange 500 students in such a way that number of columns and the rows will be subtracted. So as we know that school is there, that means we can't take out the students, isn't it? So we have to subtract it. Okay, subtraction will be there. So 500 will be subtracted with 16, the remainder is 16, so the number is will be 484. Now 484 square root you can find by long division method or a prime factorization method. So what will be that? 22. The 16 students have to go out for other to do the PT practice as per condition. Now 22 is the square root of 484, but the row and columns of the 16 students will be there. Clear? Okay. Thank you everyone. So here the chapter number are that is square and square root. Chapter number 6 is over. Now we will going to start chapter number 7. A little definitions are there. Just we will go through those definitions. Okay, this chapter you have to start from the new page. Chapter number 7, cube and cube roots. In this video we are just going to see the definitions, and in the next video we are going to see the exercise. Okay, a small chapter is there. Okay, within 2 video it will be get over. So here is chapter number 7, cube and cube root. It is same as the chapter number 6, square and square root. Okay, so first definition is cube of a number. For a given number x, we define cube of x is equals to x into x into x, that is x cube. Since here it is talking about cube, cube means 3, isn't it? So it will be x to the power 3. So that is called a cube of a number. Suppose for example we are having one number. Suppose for example we are having one number 2 cube, isn't it? If it is 2 to the power 3, that means we have to multiply 2 3 times to get 8. In the same way, if it is said that find the cube of 3 cube, or find the cube of 3, find the cube of 3 to the power 3, that means 3 will be multiplied 3 times to get the answer. 3 into 3 is 9, 9 into 3 is 27. Like this you have to find the cube of the number. Okay, then second one is perfect cube. A natural number is said to be a perfect cube if it is the cube of some natural numbers. Okay, suppose the perfect cube, how it will be a perfect cube? When exactly 2 into 2 into 2 is 8, so it is a perfect cube. 3 into 3 into 3, so it is also a perfect cube. 8 is a perfect cube. 27 is a perfect cube. 64 is a perfect cube. Why we are saying this as a perfect cube? Because when we will do it by the prime factorization method or a long division method or any square we are going to cube we are going to find, it will be give the pairs of the numbers. That's why it is said as a perfect cube. Okay, then properties of a cube. Here properties are given. The cube of an even natural number is even. Cube of an odd natural number is odd. Then cube of a rational number is what? When the number is written in the form of p by q, a by 3, it is called a rational number where a and b is where b is not equals to 0 and a is the numerator, where a is what? A is an integer, either positive integer, negative integer, isn't it? So that is called a rational number. So cube of a rational number is a upon b is equals to a cube upon b cube, that is a upon b, the whole cube can be written. The cube of a negative integer is always a negative. Okay, cube of a negative integers will always negative. That means suppose we have to find the cube of minus 2. So how to find minus 2 into minus 2 into minus 2 will be there. Here multiplication sign is there, isn't it? So 2 into 2 will minus 2 into minus 2 will be how much? Plus 4. Minus and minus will become plus, so it will be plus 4. Then again it will be multiplied with minus 2. So plus and minus will become minus, and 4 into 2 will become 8. So that's why it is said that the cube of negative integer is always negative. Okay, so here our formula it is given. So a plus b the whole square, everybody know that it is a square plus b square plus 2ab, but a new formula here, a plus b the whole cube. Okay, so what's the formula for that? A cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square. Okay, just go through the formula. Next is cube root. Cube root is the inverse of the cube denoted by this cube. Okay, so what is by it is denoted? It is denoted by the cube. Since when we are doing the square, so square is denoted by this number. So when we are talking about the cube root is denoted by 3 root. Okay, when we are talking about fourth root will be denoted by like this. When we are talking about 5 root, it will be denoted like this. So okay, So in this way we are going to see the cube roots. So cube roots, in finding the cube roots of the numbers, always remember that we are going to make the pair of the three numbers. Okay, suppose in the question it is asked to find the cube root of 27. In the question it is asked to find the cube root of 27. So cube root of 27, that means we have to find its factors, isn't it? So 3, 9, then again 3, then again 3 will be 1. Now inside the cube, how many 3's are there? 3 are there. 3 into 3 into 3. So since it is a cube root, so we have to make the pair of the three numbers, and among the three numbers, one of the number will be come outside. Okay, so in this way we are going to see the cube roots of the numbers. So tomorrow we are going to see the exercise 7.1. okay, so here the chapter is going to be end, and we had started some definitions of next chapter, that is cube and cube roots. If any doubt is there, please ask me through my WhatsApp number. Thank you everyone.